आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
So India and the European Union are signing the landmark India-EU trade deal, which is being called the mother of all deals. And European Union President Ursula von der Leyen said that a successful India makes the world more stable, more prosperous and more secure. This is as she was attending the Republic Day event. Ladies and gentlemen, today the fact is there is nobody with the USA. She's not saying it, but she would absolutely hate what Trump is talking about these days, the tone. And she and the European Union would love to have a closer relationship with India. Already the EU is India's biggest trade partner. Yes, don't be surprised, America is not so important really. People keep talking about America. And to truly grasp the scale of the deal, 3 or 4 statistics from my side. Trump is completely isolated today. He doesn't know what to do because this is a trade pact between 2 billion people. India is 1.4 billion, EU's 450 million. This is 1 out of every 4 people in the world is connected through this trade deal. In sheer human scale, imagine this. This trade deal links more people than US, China, Japan and Brazil combined. Economically, this is huge because it connects markets that account for 1/5 of global GDP. Point I'm trying to make is Trump is not as important at all as he thinks. Trump is actually irrelevant. The more he's shouting these days, he's making less sense because he represents a country with $38 trillion of debt. And there have been tapes released about the internal infighting over the tariffs issue. Elon Musk is out and he is gaping tomorrow. Trump will be gaping as Narendra Modi and Ursula von der Leyen sign the Indo-EU trade deal because this is not an ordinary deal. This is a continent to civilization agreement. 27 nations on one side and India, the emerging superpower, on the other. And on the one side is all of this happening, activity, because all countries are coming together saying, listen, we've got to talk to each other. What do we do about Trump? Let's ignore him. Let's ignore the USA till Trump is around and hope things change after that. Now, let me tell you what the situation with Trump is. Trump is in a massive mess. He's brought about the culture of hatred and his ugly, indecent pompousness has made him a standing meme. And there is civil war in the United States that's beginning to break out. Indians are very concerned about the situation there, naturally, because federal immigration agents are going around and killing innocent US citizens. This are the pictures from Minneapolis, ladies and gentlemen. The Indian federal forces are catching American citizens and killing them. Federal vehicles, totally armored, are going through streets, lights flashing. Masked federal agents are in tactical gear, and across America, white smoke and tear gas canisters are being seen. And all of this in an apparent attempt to search for immigrants. You see, Trump needs to create a villain. He's a laughing stock in America, so he has to create a villain. The global economy is a villain. He goes around saying that the world is treating us very badly. The fact is Trump is treating Americans very badly. And it is a matter of time before Americans en masse rise in revolt against this pompous man. In the meantime, the economy under Trump has nosedived. Everybody knows it. You know, by the end of that stupid speech that he made at Davos, half the crowd had left. Many were openly booing. Long-term unemployment in the US has hit the highest level in 4 years. Job seekers are not getting work. He's destroyed everyone while his family goes and makes money here, there with crypto deals with Pakistan over real estate in Gaza. So his family is becoming very rich. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, like the so-called Shah of Iran had to run away from Iran, Trump, the self-styled Shah of the United States of America, is the most hated man in America. And like the last of the Roman emperors, he's not realizing how weak and unpopular he's become. Goldman Sachs saying that US GDP growth is just 2.5%. 96%, ladies and gentlemen, of the cost of tariffs are being paid for by the people of America. And now they are beginning to question, what are we getting in turn? Our country is burning, our streets are on fire, our children are being picked up, small children are being picked up by Trump's agents and being put up in jail, saying they're a threat to American security. Global leaders have now decided, let America go to hell. Let's do business with each other, which is why Europe has finalized this huge deal with India. Europe is basically saying we are hedging against American behavior, unpredictability. Let's work with a more predictable India. G7 has broken down. G7 does not agree on US with tariffs issue, Ukraine, Gaza, or climate commitments. Trump is like a sore loser. He's walking out of the WHO. And at the end of the day, what did Emmanuel Macron of France, who Trump hates, say in his evocative speech at Davos? He said, we do prefer respect to bullies and we do prefer the rule of law to brutality. And look at what Canada's Carney said. He said middle powers must act together because if we are not on the table, we are on the menu. And Sweden's Prime Minister said that we will not let ourselves be blackmailed. We are not here to obey Trump. So the world is speaking up. Trump is hallucinating. He doesn't realize the situation in America. He is now turned on Americans. His next target will be Americans. He will make his federal agents kill Americans and fight people and governors in different states till there's absolute all-out civil war in the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, the reality is this. There is nobody with Trump today. Nobody with the USA.
America is burning. Civil war whispers under Trump, clashing with Europe in bitter trade and alliance fights.
Soda-nice! No more Minnesota nice! Minneapolis will strike! Minneapolis will strike!
Europe in steep decline. Confused leaders pivot hard to China. In that backdrop, India is holding its fort. We grow despite punishing tariffs. Exports increase, markets realigned.
And right after Davos, the next weekend, I will travel to India. There's still work to do, but we are on the cusp of a historic trade agreement. Indeed, some call it the mother of all deals. One that would create a market of 2 billion people, accounting for almost a quarter of global GDP.
We have strategically pivoted, aligning with Russia-China axis on energy and national security. While the old powers falter and pivot in confusion, India charts its own unbreakable path. Resilient, rising, unstoppable.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a very big trade deal tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to be a great global headline because the scale of the deal between India and the European Union, this agreement, by the way, let me say this, the discussion on this agreement has gone on since 2007. EU had said that we want to work together with India. There is huge potential. But for some reason, this discussion has taken almost 2 decades to close. And I think one of the reasons it's closed now finally very quickly is because of the behavior of Trump. Am I right? I'm seeing a lot of heads nod there because Trump is behaving in such a mad, crazy and unpredictable way that even the EU is saying we have to hedge about Trump. Even India is saying, well, you can't do anything about this guy. You can't depend on him. Let's do business with everyone else. So Trump is isolated and bringing the rest of the world together. This evening I have Ambassador Deepak Vohra, very respected former diplomat, Freddie Swain, former Danish diplomat. He served as ambassador to India for 13 long years. He knows everything about this deal. We have Tilly Martinussen, he's a Greenlandic politician and former member of parliament from Greenland. Tilly, thank you. Good to have a voice from Greenland these days. She's joining us from Nuuk. Victor Gao from Singapore, Vice President of the Center for China and Globalization. Vibhuti Jha, he's been former Republican candidate. William Buiter, former Chief Economist at Citi. Adel Nazarian, Foreign Policy Analyst from Washington. And Dr. Joseph Chalil, author and publisher of the Universal News Network. Thank you very much. So we have 4 voices from America. One from Singapore/China, one from Greenland, one from Copenhagen and Denmark, and one from New Delhi. It's a great panel. Let's make the most of it. I want to start with you, Mr. Swain, if I may. You agree with what I said, that the deal came in now, right now, because EU and India have realized we need to work closer together in a Trump era?
I mean, the brief answer is obviously yes, but I have followed this over many, many years. And I also think that EU has realized that the geopolitics have taken a different form and shape compared with how it was earlier on. But it's clear that the way in which US has been behaving, that has also really accelerated the need and the interest in concluding this deal. It's obvious, but EU has adapted to the changed new world order. I think it's wise, it's needed, and if things are not moving as they should be, then of course you have to change your course of direction. That is what is done. But having said that, it's also important to keep in mind that the size of India and the size of Europe, where we are economically, it makes sense to have this free trade deal in place, and it's so important. So, and since it's the Republic Day of India, I will congratulate and wish you all a happy Republic Day.
Thank you so much, Freddie. Appreciate that. But things are, I am of a view that Europe is looking very closely at India. Rightly so. Rightly so. I call this continent to civilization, civilization to continent. EU FTA is Jan 27, 2026. Macron is in India, February 2026. Carney of Canada is in India in March 2026. So there's a lot of repivoting I see happening here. And India is becoming a center of this repivoting. Ambassador Vohra, your thoughts? You think we should make the most of it?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Goswami. Always a privilege to be with such wonderful people on your amazing channel. By the way, thank you, Mr. Ambassador Savani, for saying Republic Day wishes to us. Republic Television is the voice of the Indian Republic. So, Mr. Goswami, thank you very much for this opportunity to be with you. Of course, what you've asked me, it's true. Mr. Trump is he America's friend or America's enemy? He's isolating the country. But as far as the EU is concerned, sir, I've been dealing with them for several years. Let me just tell you, the arrogance has not gone. The racism has not gone. This is, if it's anti-Trump on both sides, that's not a good basis for having an agreement. But Europe has now realized that if you really want a market, China is close to them, America has booted them out, Russia they don't talk to, it's India. I hope this realization dawns. May I just say something, Ambassador Savani? Not too long ago in September, what is the lady's name? Kaya Kalas, who is the head of the Common Security and Foreign Policy. She talked about using a carrot and stick policy against India. Are we donkeys? Who does she think she is? And now she's singing our praises. And she said, oh, without India, the EU is damned. Has the racism gone or is it still there, sir? But as far as this deal is concerned, I believe the EU wants it much more than we do because Trump has dumped them. And therefore, we will take full advantage. We are unstoppable, sir. We talk of being the fourth largest economy in the world. Sir, I believe we've already overtaken Germany. We are the third largest, which means as far as the EU individual countries are concerned, we are the largest. Sir, if this is going to be an anti-Trump coalition, it won't work. But if it's a coalition, if it's an agreement, that depends on our relative strengths. Nothing can stop us. The EU has to understand that India won't be kicked around anymore, sir.
I would like to respond to that, sir. Freddie's
Yes, of
want
course.
to respond to that. He's basically saying that the Europeans are being opportunistic. And if I may add one thing to it, Freddie, just a small thing, and I want your response, is that the Europeans have been very patronizing about India. Racism, yes, may be a point of view of looking at it, but historically meddling in India's affairs, human rights, trying to have a lever over India, it's not going to work anymore. That's what Deepak's saying to you.
I mean, it's old, current in the kind of grid. When I was ambassador to your lovely nation, I had one line that I preached constantly: no cheating, no preaching. And I think we have realized on our side, and we are not just opportunistic in our approach, we have carefully looked into the potential of India. And India has done the same. So those who are arguing that this trade deal only came because of Trump, it's rubbish, Ambassador Vora. It has nothing to do with reality. It has accelerated, of course, the need really to secure that two major blocs economically can really work together. It serves the interests of Indians. It serves the interest of the Europeans. But it is simply too much to say, thank you, Mr. Trump, you made it possible. It's rubbish, it's wrong, and it has nothing to do with reality. Dhanyavad.
Well, now, thank you. Let's look at the American side now. Vibhuti, William, Adele, and Dr. Chile, it's very sad. First of all, let me just share with you that our heart breaks when we see the way Americans are being killed on the streets of America. Peaceful Americans are being brutally killed by the federal agents of Trump. And when the governor of the state of Minnesota, the police chief of Minneapolis stands and says, don't kill us. We are Americans too. We may not agree with you, but don't kill us. Don't send people in huge gear to face unarmed protesters and kill them. Run the visuals, please, full frame. I mean, I really feel so bad, Vibhuti. You are sitting on the edge of a civil war. Because let me tell you, Vibhuti, William, you may be in New York, but at one time, Americans will be very angry with Trump. And when you keep killing people, at one point, they are going to question you in every which way. This brutalization of American society, the bloodshed. I don't know how you can even defend them anymore, William. I mean, there is war across America. And the victims are Americans. See, the world will distance itself. Problem with American citizens, they can't distance from Trump. He's unfortunately their president. William, you're going to stand up for this man. And, you know, some people hate him, some people laugh at him, some people mock him. But they are beginning to hate America, laugh at America, and mock America, not Trump alone. William, nobody's with the USA. This is the context. Your response.
Thank you. Let me first point out that I have never defended Mr. Trump in his economic policies or in his domestic policies, including especially the immigration policies. I think the way in which ICE is used to try to implement this new anti-immigrant policy is very, very disheartening. It is completely unconstitutional, in my view, and I hope that domestic opposition in the United States will unify against it.
Changing on the left. Keep changing on the left.
But it is true, of course, that some protectionism has motivated greater trade integration with the rest of the world. A free trade area between India and the EU always made sense, even with a sensible and open US. But it makes even more sense with the US on a protectionist mode, putting 50% tariffs on Indian exports to the US and 15% tariffs on EU exports to the US. And indeed, on selected commodities, tariffs as high as 50%. So the rest of the world can minimize the impact of Trump's protectionism by increasing trading ties, increasing migration policies, and increasing investment cross-border outside the US. The US won't go away, but in 3 years' time, I think the worst of its protectionist phase will be over.
But I don't know. I mean, my question was far simpler than that. My question was that the whole world has come closer and nobody likes Trump. I'm just putting it very simply. We feel very bad for Greenland, for example. But Greenland is stronger today than it was a week back. I have no doubt in saying, Tilly, that today even countries that may not have had a point of view on Greenland are standing with you.
Yes.
And standing with you not to sell you weapons, but because you're morally right. It's not same as Ukraine, standing up for Ukraine. How do you feel about what's happening globally? Do you have a global perspective on this, Tilly? Do you believe the Greenland issue has also brought Europe together to realize that it needs to have its own security policies, its own trading connections, be less dependent, or be secondary to America? Tilly.
Yes, I think that we kind of unwillingly were in the middle of the storm's eye here in Greenland as Donald Trump went 5 to 10 steps too far. What I would say, though, is that the European Union as well as NATO has stepped up big time for us. And I would have to say that going forward, we're going to have to form a new world order. And I understand that there may be reservations in India and some critique of the trade deal that has been done, but I would have to side with the European Union here because it will benefit the Indian people as well as the European Union. And what we're looking for right now in Greenland is just peace of mind and quiet. And I would have to say, I think that we have been very fortunate in the way that things have played out for Greenland right now. We're very happy that the European Union, NATO, and Canada stepped up for us. Otherwise, we would have been annexed by now, 57,000 people. And of course, we're very grateful to our closest partners, but also former colonist country, Denmark, that has stepped up in a big way and made sure that Greenlanders were heard every step of the way. They have been working very closely together with our government. So Greenlandic people here are very, very happy for that.
Do you worry, Tilly, that if you see the visuals, I'm sure you are seeing the visuals of the terrible violence across the United States of America. We can run those pictures there. There is a civil war there. You know, do you feel that Trump, is so mad that he could try to do the same thing in Greenland? And he said, I'm not using force, but he hasn't ruled out the use of force. Do you think pushed to the wall, this is an unpredictable man? He has the military under his control. Do you think he could do something like that to try and run over the people of Greenland?
Well, he would
thank you, Arnab. I don't think he will run over the people of Greenland because that's not his objective. And you are right that no option is off the table. So insofar as America is concerned. So this is what is important for everybody to understand. I agree with Ambassador Deepak Vora that India needs to be wary and careful about the EU trade. That's the important part. But I want to introduce another element here. That yes, you are right, Arnab. I agree with you that Mr. Trump's style and choosing his words to say or do something irritates a lot of people. It has irked me as well, as a supporter. But what I want to tell you is that we must acknowledge we are all part of technology, what is called upending. When the technology leads to disruption, we very happily accept, acknowledge, and adjust to that, just as we are doing here today. Trump is a bull in a china shop. He's on an authority override. He's on an authority override. He doesn't mince words when he criticizes his chief of Federal Reserve at this place. He ridicules or talks about everybody in any level of time. But he's a political disruptor. We all know that UN is a failed organization. We all know that NATO is for the white, by the white, of the white, a members-only war club in the world. These are the things that he is disrupting. So let's kind of be fair on one element alone. Give the benefit of doubt. Let's not be judgmental.
No, please. I mean, see, I'll tell you. I believe it's a permanent crack. Let me tell you, because I'll tell you why it's a permanent crack. Because I just saw a statement by the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, or whatever his name is, who says that we have put 25% tariffs on India for buying Russian oil. Guess what happened last week? The Europeans signed a trade deal with India. Just to be clear again, the Russian oil goes into India, the refined products come out, and the Europeans buy the refined products. They are financing the war against themselves. So he's getting angrier and angrier and angrier and angrier, smoke coming out of his ears. Smoke coming out of his ears. He's furious. He's tearing his hair apart. And I think we have, I mean, I was just talking to someone, who said we know how to deal with Trump.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah, we know.
I think everybody knows how to deal with anybody else.
My point is, how permanent is this shift? So, Victor Gao, Xi Jinping saying elephant and dragon will dance together. It's best for the health of both countries. Obviously, Xi Jinping is in trouble. He's just sacked his biggest general because he thought there would be a military takeover of China. He's got his own problems. That's what happens when you're not a democracy, Victor. When you're an authoritarian state, that's what happens. But now, how much can we trust you? Can we really rebound? Or are these opportunistic relationships, India, China, India, EU, for the part-time, for a short while the world deals with Trump? Is this a bandage over the present?
Thank you very much for having me. First of all, congratulations to India and EU to sign this very important free trade deal. I personally support free trade of all kinds, and if EU and India will really promote free trade and defend free trade, I believe this works for everyone's interest. Now, the anti-corruption achievements in China really reflected that the Chinese government and the Chinese nation are committed to fight against the corruption of all kinds, even if it touches the very top brass in the Chinese military. The corruption is really corruption. It is mostly monetarily oriented. It has nothing to do with what you implied. And I think this demonstrates the commitment of the Chinese system to weed out corruption by all means. And this actually reinforces our people's confidence.
Okay, whatever. Now, let's get back to the subject.
Spare no effort to fight against the corruption.
Let's get back to the subject. But what my question was different, Victor. My question was, Dr. Joseph Chalil, will this relationships last? Adel Nazarian, from an American perspective, the India-EU deal, the slight brotherliness between India and China of late, are these temporary things? So while the world deals with Trump, or has to deal till Trump is there, or till he goes away, till this nightmare ends? Or is it more long-lasting? Adele, you want to go first? Or whoever, yeah.
I'd love to. I think I need to be put on screen.
Yeah, you're on screen, yeah, please. producers?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So essentially, I think that this is a combination of both. Thank you, and Happy Republic Day as well from India's eternal ally, America, no matter what anyone says. I think this is definitely a combination of both a temporary boost and bolstering of the much needed and very necessary and well-deserved elevation of India's, relations with other EU nations across the globe. I think it's fantastic. I think India has done an amazing job in terms of building its middle class and raising its, working class to higher economic levels. And I think it should continue. And I want to point out that the United States has the largest number of immigrants from India the world over. And that number will continue to grow. So don't write off the U.S.-India relationship. I think this temporary boost is fantastic for India. It's going to be good for Europe as well. But at the end of the day, you can never write off the U.S.-India relationship, and it will continue to be strong. Even with the growing China-India relationship, I think that India and many partners have realized that, look, I love China. It's a beautiful, beautiful country. I love India, obviously, as well. And I'm American, proudly so. But at the end of the day, I think that there's a little bit more.
But Adele, the thing is, the world has changed. You see, you are sorry for saying this, you're a turmoil, you're a country in turmoil and in deep debt. That's how I look at you. I look at you as a debt-ridden, turmoil-hit country. Like, American economist Richard Wolff said that India is an elephant and the US is a mouse. And he said that India is now, according to the United Nations, the largest country on earth. The United States, the United States, on the other hand, allow me to complete. You guys have to learn, the United States telling India what to do, everyone on. The United States telling India what to do is like a mouse hitting his fist to an elephant. And that's what Trump has been doing.
That's not what it is.
No,
at all. I'm going to say something. Look, at the end of the day, something that has to be seen here is, okay, soft power. Look, what's happening now with the EU and India, strengthening their trade deals, it's not an economic shock to the U.S. I'm going to tell you, long term, it's not. It's a soft power issue temporarily. At the end of the day, India is strong regionally, and the U.S. is globally dominant. And that's not going to change. And there may be, worldwide force of projection. This is something America has. Blue water naval dominance, global intelligence, reach that's growing. This is something that India does not have in the same capacity as America. But one thing that I can guarantee, it's not replaceable. That's it. But at the end of the day, I will say this. Of course, President Trump and America's aspiration to take Greenland is definitely an impetus and a catalyst for the EU to step in. But at the end of the day, think about this. The European nations have a big problem with Islamists. And I think that we know anywhere where Hindus and Islamists come together, it's not always a good scenario. So I think that Europe would also be very, very good to take care of its radicalism problem, because I don't think it's a very good issue.
So Dr. Joseph Chalil, I like your view on this. Just one thought, that while America becomes unpopular, we see new relationships building between countries of the global south, between EU, India, and also, more importantly, India and China. And while all of this is happening, America is at war with itself and with everyone else. In fact, the Ukraine-Russia war has only become more aggressive after Alaska. He has failed there. Even Iran has actually done military retaliatory strikes on Al-Udeid and Ain al-Assad, which is US bases were hit by Iran. They could do absolutely nothing. I forgot the phrase that was used, I think, in the New York Times. There was a three-letter word to describe America as a country that goes back. Trump is a person who goes back on each one of his threats. So, even China has imposed retaliatory tariffs. Where are you really? I mean, Dr. Joseph, is reality going to sink in somewhere in America? Are people going to question Trump?
Arnab, unfortunately, I would love to say that I think that Trump derangement syndrome has now spread borders of America, and it's now spreading to Europe and to India a little bit. But I would say, as a person who underestimated Trump, I worked with President Bush and with Jeb Bush early on, and clearly paid for it. I would never underestimate Trump. The images you show on wireless in the streets, in the cities in America, I don't see it. We don't see it. It's in one city. It's like similar to the CIA
don't see
protest.
it. Okay, let me show it to you.
I understand. I see it. I'm not saying
you don't see it.
It's
this
selective.
is not representative of what goes on.
Oh, just one or two. It's selective.
It is very selective. This is not a representation of the greater American.
And Trump hasn't enacted the Insurrection Act. He could very well.
What happened in Minnesota was selective.
Correct, because it was paid, and these people were protesting, and we need to bring law of order. And you mentioned that.
What do you say? Law and order. Just 1 minute, please. Just 1 minute, please. Your federal agents are going around the streets and pointing their Sten guns and killing Americans, and you are actually saying you're saying no big deal.
They're not killing Americans. They're trying to deport the people who are criminals.
And in the process, killing Americans.
Who have warrants.
Vibhuti, you're going to listen to this and not even say a word, is it?
No.
I can't believe what's going on.
Wait a minute. Here it is very important thing to bear in mind. I think I agree with Dr. Joseph and Adele that what is happening right now in Minneapolis is a very sad thing in terms of 2 deaths. There are no killings happening. Let's put it very clearly, Arnab. You are a responsible guy. So it is not killings happening. 2 people were killed by ICE agents. Bad spectacle for the authorities, no doubt. But what is behind it? That is something that we need to talk about as democracy and freedom lovers. That you have Governor Tim Walsh, the corruption of $1 billion Somalian scandal of the Medicare, Medicaid fraud, or whatever that is going on, is spreading out to the governor's office. And there is a complete manual distributed for how to fight the ICE agents, which includes an ICE agent being told by the protesters that you are in this particular car, the color of your car is this, you arrive here and we will kill you.
No, sir, Vibhuti.
And I agree with you.
Vibhuti,
that this is not.
I'm not saying.
We're not welcome.
No, but I'm saying overall the situation in America is not something you can expect anyone to look away from. You are the country, by the way, let me remind you, who says one person. I see your hand go up. Can I just say one thing, Freddie? I'm hanging over to you. You're the country that said there is one Chinese student, who stands in front of a tank, and your media says that one person represents all of China. And you took that picture, put it on CNN, and you said China has risen. Don't forget the pictures of Tiananmen Square. Don't forget what you did with Perestroika and Glasnost using Gorbachev. You said that was one Russian, but that one Russian spoke for all Russians. And today you said two Americans. No. You see, now you don't like the focus of the media.
Hey, no, it's not. If that one
it's a reality.
Person in China, if that one, see, the difference is those were not democracies. The difference is that if that one person
are you pro-democracy? Are you pro-democracy? Are you pro-democracy? I ask you one thing. I ask you one thing. No, one minute. Just one minute. Adele. If you're a student of geopolitics, I suggest you read this book I'm reading these days called The Spy Catchers. One of its chapters has a full account of how America is the center of global assassinations. So much so that your ex-CIA chief Colby went and testified against all the assassinations that you've carried out across the entire world. So don't tell me you're pro-democracy at all. You're not pro-democracy at all. No. And then you said, no, we are going to turn over a new leaf. We will not carry out assassinations of people abroad. But you killed Soleimani. And when you killed Soleimani, you said, no, but you promised to yourself you will not kill people. Then you said, no, but American drone killed Soleimani, so it was not an American soldier. It was an American machine. Come on now. You please understand. The sins of the past. The sins of the past will come to bear on you. The sins of the past will come to bear on you. And Freddie wants to come into the debate. Freddie, your turn.
Thank you very much indeed. I have listened and followed and been part of so many shouting dialogues and debates in India. But I think...
You're welcome.
Arnab, we have to focus on one thing. It is not so that India becomes stronger because of Trump. India becomes stronger because of its own potential. And therefore, the focus should be not on who is fighting where and here and there and all that. It should be, how can India become stronger? And India has become stronger with this FTA with the European Union. That's the focus. Whatever people are doing in other countries, leave that aside. It can be a different discussion. But India does not become stronger because of a weak or strange Trump behaving.
No, I don't want to get distracted because of Trump, though I must say it's very distracting. While you were speaking, I almost choked on my green tea. But
bless you.
But I thank you very much, Adele. Very thoughtful. My point is, I'm interested in China. China is the country that always looks for an opportunity. Fights a war without lifting a finger. Victor Gao is watching this saying, I'm so happy. We are conquering the world without doing a thing.
Well, China is always looking for an opportunity to improve our relations with the rest of the world, including with India. You mentioned about China-Indian cooperation. China and India each has a population of more than 1.4 billion. So between the two of us, we have a population close to about 3 billion people. I call both China and India superpopulations. Each of us has tremendous amount of responsibility for our own people, for each other, and for the rest of the world. So it is time for China and India to figure out a way to overcome whatever problems there are, including territorial disputes between us, but move on to greater things. Solidarity and cooperation between China and India will be the best news mankind can expect. By today, the size of the Chinese economy is more than 4 times as big as Indian economy. China is a comprehensively highly developed economy compared with India. I think both of us can learn tremendously from each other and benefit by encouraging mutual exchange rather than looking down upon each other or walking away from each other. I hope maybe one day China and India can sign the biggest FTA agreement, which
no, but before that, you'll have to improve the trade imbalance between India and China. You've got a great advantage there. So, all right to say all these things, Victor. You know, you sound like all pros, everything nice. It's not like that. You guys are also very untrustworthy people, and if I may say so, you have no intention of solving the border dispute. Am I right, Deepak? You are selling fighter jets through Pakistan to Bangladesh, and you are intentionally doing so, but you cannot contain India. Yes, we are not a linchpin for America to use as a balance against you. If there was any Indians who wanted that, that's over. Now let's talk. You have an opportunity here. The Europeans have realized they need India, but you haven't, Victor.
Well, China, the reason for that is, Arnab, that China views India as a threat to its own self. I remember in Yale University, there was a discussion and Tom Friedman made the statement that the only country that China fears is India, because India is a democracy, can match it in population size and resource usage as an economy too. But the problem with China is that it wants India decimated. That's why it rakes up territorial disputes with India. India has no territorial ambitions against China. China has. If China doesn't vacate Tibet and doesn't announce that it has no ambitions, territorial ambitions in Northeast, there can be an opportunity for friendship. But I, for one, will always suspect the intentions of China insofar as India is concerned. The only country China fears is India, to append the G2 combination.
Allow me to add a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with due respect to the Prime Minister, I think from India, let me mention one thing. China will never accept McMahon Line in the northeastern part, which China called Southern Tibet. That's the very important thing. And until we really put an end to the territorial dispute between China and India, then we really need to do whatever we can to solve this territorial dispute. I've even drawn a line along the Ganges to say that the territory to the north of the Ganges will not be Indian territory if India does not give back southern Tibet to China. This is not my personal warning. This is very serious.
You are out of your mind. Listen. 1 minute. Victor, I was giving you a lot of respect. I was giving you a lot of respect, but as of this minute, Victor, listen. Victor, you're sounding, this is the worst I can say about you. You're sounding like Trump. This is the worst abuse anybody can throw at anyone these days. You're sounding like a Chinese Trump. You're out of your mind. You need to see a psychiatrist if this is the way you're going to talk. That any territory north of the Ganges belongs to us. What are you talking about? See, Victor, I was being nice to you, but there's this rancid Maoist inside you somewhere that emerges. You take off your mask. And that's what happens. See, this is not the way to talk. You have an opportunity, you mess it up. You see, this is the problem with China. It's never going to be at peace with itself. Now he's put his screen on black because he's upset with what I've said out there. But what he said was more upsetting for all of us. China, Deepak, China has a problem.
Trump isn't out of his mind.
China can never be trusted. All the other countries of the world can have a permanent relationship with each other. Okay, I think Victor is back right now. Okay, Adele said you're out of your mind, Victor. I didn't say that.
No, actually, what I said was, look, Trump is not out of his mind. You have to see, what we're seeing here is every country is looking out for itself. Look, China has played the long game for the past, few decades. It's been thinking ahead. That's why China has been able to rise to power, even through 100 years of isolation. And now what's going on is this isn't a breakdown of alliances. It's a recalibration of power. Europe is now hedging its bets. India is basically optimizing. China is scrambling, yes, but the United States now is playing the long game. America has never played the long game before. And now that Trump is
what long game? Adele. See, listen, Adele. To play the long game, to play the long game, you will need some amount of internal stability. Today, China, US is today, America is totally dependent on China for all rare earth magnets. All your electric cars, wind turbines, which you don't like, fighter jets,
after
missiles.
Greenland, it won't be.
So you'll take.
After Greenland, it won't be.
So you want Greenland to be taken over. So you're also now hallucinating.
I'm going to give you my analysis. Okay. I believe Greenland will ultimately be under the control of the United States. And I think Greenland will be much better off for it. I think that Greenland suffers right now from the highest suicide rate in all of the Nordic countries. It has a horrible incidence of tuberculosis, which is unheard of for a developed country. This is not, how is it possible that under Denmark's guidance and stewardship, Greenland people are suffering so badly with health issues? And
so you will take them over. There's a new logic.
Allow me to add a point.
Victor.
For prosperity.
Victor.
It's an opportunity for prosperity.
Allow me to add a point.
Everyone on. Yeah,
I will.
Victor, just don't say anything ridiculous after what you've just said.
Once Greenland is under the stewardship and in a stronger relationship with America, the people there will have a much better opportunity to improve
Define stronger relationship.
Allow me to add a point. 2 points, actually. Allow me to add 2 points.
Please.
The first point I want to add is to respond to the remarks made by the lady. I think her remarks demonstrated her complete ignorance about the rare earth. The fact that you may have rare earth minerals doesn't mean a thing. you need to have all the technologies and the processes to process that. Do you know who holds that? China holds up to about 100% of all the technologies and patents in processing rare earth minerals.
And America does too,
you need
and that's
to educate
wonderful.
yourself as to how rare earth materials should be processed. That's number one.
Victor, I have to tell you, China has also taken a lot of technology from the U.S. and good for China. You know what I mean? That's great. But I have to tell you, America is the hub of innovation.
To do with the situation in Greenland. It is completely up to Greenlanders and the Danish people to decide. The United States should not play the role of a bully to bully against the
So also for the people of Taiwan. Let Taiwan be free.
By such assault.
The same logic of Greenland, according to, I thank the Chinese participant Victor Gao for defending the right of the people of Taiwan to remain free. As an economy, and I appreciate you're the first Chinese speaker who has stood up for Taiwan's sovereignty.
Don't get them mixed up. People in Taiwan are Chinese. People in Greenland are not Americans, and they will never be Americans.
Victor Gao says the people of Taiwan have as much a right to be free as the people of Greenland.
Well,
the people of Taiwan are just like the people in the Confederation, and the Confederation will be defeated.
Why are you mumbling now, Victor? Now you're mumbling. Yes, William, step in.
Will be defeated.
It's a free-for-all in the last few minutes.
Arnab, I will invite you to
First,
attend the celebration.
Taiwan has 23 million inhabitants. Greenland has 50,000. 57,000. It's not a country. I do agree that the US has no right to either militarily grab it or purchase it, but they don't have to. Even with the existing agreements, the US can increase its military presence.
So I'll tell you one thing. One minute. Just one minute. If it's not a country, if it does not have the right to exist independently, then why do you want it? Give it to India?
No, I don't think the US wants it.
Give it to China?
I think the US...
Give it to Saudi Arabia?
A stronger military presence.
So might is right. You're sounding strange. You're saying might is right. We have the army, so we'll take it over. What is this?
In all fairness.
1400. What fairness?
In all fairness. America has...
Yes, Dr. Chai.
India, I've known around 5 million Indians who live in America who call themselves Americans. At least 3 or 4 million of them call themselves Americans. I don't know any single Indian who live in Germany call themselves a German. I don't know a single Indian who live in China call himself a Chinese. I don't even know a single Indian who lives in Greenland call them a Greenlandish. So I don't know if Ronald Reagan was right, but America is an amalgamation. America is a true natural ally of India. I don't please see past the Trump's short-term rhetorics. I think we will remain long-term allies and friends. We need to be a business partner. Americans is not a specific country or ethnicity. It is an
as of now, America
everybody.
equals Trump, Dr. Joseph, whatever you may say. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. Deepak Vora.
It's a short-term.
Deepak Vora, you need to respond to Victor Gao. I don't know how you smiled through that, Dr. Vora. You need to respond to Victor Gao, who said some strange things today. I don't know what he took before coming on the program.
All right. I just wanted to say, sir, my family was orphaned in 1962 during the war. And at that time, I'd like Mr. Gao to read what Chairman Dong, or whatever, Jedong, whatever his name was, he said, we have achieved what we wanted in terms of territory. We are going back. So why did you do Galwan? You are liars. You keep changing your position every 10 minutes. Do you think I can trust you, sir? Go have some more of whatever you are feasting on. India does not trust you. Not one. Sir, let me complete. Not one Indian trusts you. Your chairman said, we've achieved what we wanted. Why do you want more territory? Where did this South Tibet come from? Sir, all of China is North India. Shall I take it from you, sir? Give it to me, sir. Go away. Abandon Tibet. Abandon Inner Mongolia. Sir, please, be honest. For once, don't lie, sir. Try and be honest, sir. Your chairman said we've got all the land we wanted. Why do you claim more, sir?
You completely misquote my
Every 5 minutes you change your position. Sir, please, happy birthday to you. You are having problems in China. The moment your present fellow goes out, you're going to switch to the new fellow. Oh, sir, we know you. We know the Chinese. We know your double standards, sir. All of India knows your double standards. The whole world knows.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight. Tomorrow is the mother of all deals.
Will never be China-India border.
The India-EU trade deal. And while India and EU sign a trade deal, in China, Xi Jinping has sacked everybody in the army. He is the unquestioned military dictator for life of China. America is going through a terrible civil war. And the people of Greenland have shown Trump his place. These were the headlines this Monday evening. I thank you all for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।